Hi, welcome back to We Watched the Movie. I'm Mike. This is the Unabomber. And
we watched a movie. Yeah. We watched a movie.
Today we're going to be reviewing, as you can tell, Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol.
Tom Cruise is back again, and he's playing a disavowed IMF agent again. And his job is to save the world from nuclear annihilation again. Actually, the first three didn't have anything to do with nuclear annihilation. Basically what it's about, Tom Cruise has been missing for a while. He's been locked up in a Russian prison. The IMF goes to recruit him for a mission that's impossible. And the whole point is to stop a nuclear annihilation between Russia and the United States from a terrorist cell. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
It's got Tom Cruise, it's got Simon Pegg, it's got what's his name?
Jeremy Renner.
Jeremy Renner. And it's directed by Brad Bird.
This is Brad Bird's first no, it's his first live action movie, and that's crazy when you think about how great this movie looks and how good it is. This was his first live action movie. Before this, he did The Incredibles. He's gonna have my wife's glasses back. Yeah.
Sorry, I had to borrow them. I had no sunglasses.
But no, he did The Incredibles and Ratatouille. I don't understand how Hollywood works. Now this time they got it right. Yeah, how do you go to millions of dollars and be like, let's get this guy who's never directed live action to do it? I don't know how it works. Of course, like you said though, he had J.J. Abrams on as
Tom Cruise.
And man, just almost anything J.J. Abrams touches, it's gold.
Yeah, well, they're not gonna. Yeah, they weren't gonna let the guy get away from what the main story is gonna be. This is a really, really important movie for Tom Cruise. As much of a reputation hit as he's taken over the few years, he needed this movie. Yeah. So he wasn't gonna let this go to shit.
I mean, Tom Cruise is awesome. He's a badass. The guy does all of his own stunts, as we all know. That crap in Mission Impossible 2 and him hanging off the side of a cliff, that was real.
I know.
This time they spent if you watch the special features of the Blu-ray, it's got really great special features on it, by the way. He's hanging on the scene where he's on the side of the building. That's not giving anything away. It's on the cover of the movie. Yeah. Scene where he's hanging on the side of the building. He was out there for 21 days, and they were just out there filming, and he was out there just, on the world's tallest building, hanging by a rope, just laughing and jumping around and stuff like that, and being dumb.
He's probably hanging on the side. He's probably hanging on the side of the building. He's I can see my Scientology building from here, guys. That's where I go.
See, I think this movie actually pulled off what Mission Impossible 2 and 3 were trying to be.
Well, they got stupid.
Yeah, well, they've got this big old elaborate sets, and they spent millions of dollars, and they're like, oh, well, we can film anything here, and it'll be gold. And what it ends up being for the viewer is boring. But this movie, they planned the fight scenes so well, they planned everything so well that, you're like, whoa. The action scenes, man, I mean, they're
This is probably my favorite Mission Impossible since the first one.
Absolutely. It might be my favorite overall.
Well, the third one really left me down. I was like, well, I kind of at that point, I think everybody was kind of the point after Mission Impossible, they're like, well, it's burning out. But the thing about Jeremy Renner is when I watched the movie, I wasn't sure if he could take that mantle of Mission Impossible and move, because I thought
everybody kind of thought that.
Yeah, and I think after watching his performance, I think he could totally do it.
I think he could do it, but I don't think Tom Cruise is ready to give it up.
No,
Tom Cruise is a badass.
Because there were some scenes in the movie that were just why was it there? I don't understand.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a perfect movie. It's still aMission Impossible movie. You hear all this great stuff about it, all the great reviews. It's still a Mission Impossible movie. It's still hokey. It's still some unbelievable
stuff. Do you
stuff.
wonder though if Tom Cruise went in there and pitched that idea after he had been basically disavowed by Hollywood and nobody wanted to do anything with him, and they were he came into the studio and he was like, I want to do a Mission Impossible 4. And they're like, yeah, that's not going to happen. He goes, it's Mission Possible.
I want to run through a sandstorm. I want to blow up the Kremlin.
And I want to go out the tallest building in the world and hang.
And jump off the side.
But he's probably Mission Possible, sir.
I enjoyed it a lot. I hope they keep making these movies as long as they put forth the effort that they did in this one.
He probably walked in that studio room, dude. He jumped on the table and had a smoke bomb and lit the fuse just to show that he was serious. He's like, I still got it, Daddy.
I give this movie an 8.0. I thought the acting was great. Aside from the girl, I didn't really care for her that much. The fight scenes were great in it. Jeremy Renner was great in it. Tom Cruise was awesome in it.
The comedy parts of it was good. Simon Pegg was funny in it.
Simon Pegg had that perfect
he's always
he was guy. If you remember Emilio Estevez from the first movie, he was his character just like that, except for he didn't die in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, that always sucked. I never liked that about Mission Impossible 1. I wanted to see Emilio Estevez.
Who doesn't?
I give it an 8.0.
8.0 as well?
I would definitely say if you're a fan of action movies and if you're a fan of the Mission Impossible series, I would say buy it or check it out at least. I think it's way better, or it's not way better, it's on par with Mission Impossible 1. I prefer Mission Impossible 1 still, but I mean, I would definitely watch this before the second and third one.
Yeah, it has more action than Mission Impossible.
And it kind of doesn't even really, it does kind of tie in with the first, Mission Impossible 2 and 3, but it kind of skips over those two and just talks about what's going on now. Yeah, and I like the story too. I thought the story was
just
cool.
A side note, Brad Bird said he will not come back to do the next Mission Impossible. So rate, comment, subscribe.
We'll see you next time, guys.
I don't think Tom Cruise's career has been the same since he got the long hair. I know that sounds petty, but you know, whatever. Big boy.
Did you notice at the very beginning of the movie though, like how long that fuse was? He's like, light the fuse, and like I really thought the fuse was that long. Sergey.
Yeah, he takes that. He's like, Sergey.
But I always wondered also, like, how if they wanted to refuse the mission, how do they let somebody know that they're not going to do it? It's like if you choose to accept this mission, you're like, what if I don't want it? Like he's like, fuck it, I don't want to do that. Yeah.
Emilio.
He's the son of Martin Sheen.
Yep. Why do they always use that word disavow? Like, nobody else uses that word for anything in life except for Mission Impossible. And you know, Tom Cruise is like, we have to say disavow. Yeah. No. And Tom Cruise, man, I like Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
Scientology, blah 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 blah.
Blah blah.
Katie Holmes, blah 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 blah. She showed her boobies once.
She did.